This is the Dell Dimension 3000.
We're gonna fly. We're gonna fly.
What's up, everybody? This is Tyler720 here, listening news, and this is Geek Power, Season 3, Episode 1. Okay, so I haven't done Geek Power in a while. Let's just say I've done 2 seasons of it, and each season had 2 episodes each, which was pathetic. But this is the year that changes this. I'm actually going to be doing more episodes, and this is the start of it. So, welcome to the season premiere of Season 3. I have these all pre-recorded. I don't know when. I kind of do them whenever, and they're expected to air this spring. So if you're watching them right now, then that's awesome. So this is, by the way, they're supposed to air spring 2017. So I hope you guys are willing to watch that. I'm going to be doing a teaser later on, editing some stuff together. But this is going to be really fun. So let's go into a nostalgic moment here. Right here, I've got a System X, or whatever you pronounce it, hunk of crap AMD machine. Now, I got this machine for free. And I'm going to get into a nostalgic moment here. So, what I got to talk about here is something rather interesting. I got this machine for free and a bunch of other machines for free. I sold off a bunch of other machines, but this one I wanted to keep for some reasons. Now, back in sophomore year, me and my tech ed teacher had this amazing idea where we wanted to do a radio stream system. We had a radio receiver that was able to cover the whole school because his room was in the center of the school. And we figured if we do this, it would be an awesome idea because a lot of the students that come into our school either have a radio or some sort of device that has a radio input on it. And every teacher, pretty much every teacher of the whole school has a radio in their classroom. So I figured this would be an awesome idea where people, they could turn on their radios while they're walking in, or the teachers could turn on the radios. We'd play some songs. We could basically announce the weather, what it's going to be like today, all the important announcements, and do like a little radio talk show of what's going on. And I figured this was an idea we wanted to do back in my sophomore year. I'm a senior now, but this machine, if it does get used for that purpose, will be staying at the high school. As long as it gets used, I'm willing to donate it. Now, this machine is not really a powerhouse. It has an AMD Athlon XP processor, which is bleh. And I'm not trying to be a hypocrite here or anything. I don't mind AMD's graphics cards. They do run a little hot, and I'm not making that a stereotype. It is kind of true, though. A huge majority of their cards run really hot and waste a lot of power, but the majority of this is just, I never really was fond of AMD processors. I thought they were really crappy and they just didn't work like they were supposed to. So in this essence, this machine, I can't remove the processor and put in an Intel one unless I go ahead and completely replace the motherboard, and I don't want to do that. Come on, who would want to do that? So this machine has an AMD Athlon XP clocked at 1.33 gigahertz. That is going to be overclocked. Second thing this thing's going to need, if it's going to be used for that purpose, is a graphics card, a dedicated graphics. So if you wanted to pull off YouTube videos, you could. Because this machine, I think, is packing an AMD Rage 2 or something like that. It's a very bad card, nothing important, nothing that could really be used for modern use. And the second Ethernet card. The reason why I need a second Ethernet card is because from the looks of it, this machine could definitely use a benefit with a second Ethernet card. And that could be a huge feature because that means we could have 2 Ethernets plugged into it and it can switch between the 2 and it just run a little bit faster. And a new sound card. I have a really nice sound card that I want to put in the system, and I think that would help a lot. The only modifications I did to the system when I got it was the DVD drive here. That's a replacement of a really crappy CD drive, so that's new. And it's got a RAM upgrade. It originally had 128 megabytes of RAM. It now has 512 megabytes, or maybe it had 256, I don't remember. But it's got 512 megabytes of RAM in it now, so that's definitely something that's gonna help out a lot. This is not an official idea yet, but I'm going to be describing to you guys something that's very interesting here. Operating system-wise, there was a version of Windows XP called Windows XP Media Center Edition. This was a version of XP that was made strictly for multimedia machines that were meant for playing DVDs and all that kind of crap, and it's a very uncommon version of XP. The reason why I want Windows Media Center, the raw fact that it's supposed to run a lot better at when it comes to streaming and doing simple tasks that rely on media-based applications. So, needless to say, if you got through all this, I appreciate it. We're going to get on to the main factor of taking this machine apart, looking around in it, and we're going to get back to you. What we're going to be doing is, I got my Sony Handycam and some of the hardware parts that we got. So here, let me flip over. So here's some of the hardware parts we got. We got an Ethernet card. Whoops, we got an Ethernet card. We've got a FireWire card because audio through FireWire is actually pretty darn good. We got an NVIDIA GeForce 6200 AGP card slot. And we've got a Creative Labs, I don't know exactly what this is. Hold on, let me look for it. I believe it's a Creative Labs SB0460. This is a very good sound card. This is a sound processor. Whoops. As you can see, it's got a game port and digital audio out on it. That actually I don't think is a game port. I think it's used for something else. And this thing is actually compatible if you could actually plug this thing into a second sound processor and have the second sound processor on the front, which I don't have that feature, but I'll get it another time. I bet you I could probably find it if I really truly wanted to. But that's the sound card we're going to be using. So, let's get started, shall we? And there we go. Okay. It's got that little air intake slot there. Alright, so here's what we got packing in this system. In this system, I don't have anything truly important. The only thing I truly have is 3 PCI slots, which would be perfect for what I got. And, I don't know, just a lot of dust mainly. There's not too much in the system really to show. It's just kind of dusty. Let me turn the infrared on. It's just kind of dusty, you know. That fan right there is kind of pathetic. This heatsink is kind of pathetic, so that might be an upgrade to come. This system has 3 bays in it, or 4 bays for the CD drive. So what I'm thinking is I could probably throw 2 more CD drives in the system, or maybe like, I don't know, I might throw another, like 2 CD drives in the system, 1 DVD drive. Reason why I'd want to do that is because, quite frankly, doing that might actually be good for the system. It might actually give it, you know, just I can read other CDs. Being that this is an audio streaming PC, that might be an option to come onto. But we're not going to do that just yet. So I got the original hard drive in here. This is not secured correctly, and it's a very crappy hard drive. So this is obviously not going to do. We're going to be using a rather old and dated, but still rather good, Seagate Barracuda ATA4. What we'll do is, we'll get the cards installed here. In order to do that, we need to unscrew those things right there. So here's what we got. So we've replaced our original video card there. That's our original VGA port. That's no longer going to be used. We've got a really nice looking S-Video, DVI, and VGA. We got a separate Ethernet card. We've got our Creative Labs sound card and our FireWire. And the reason why, like I said, I threw a FireWire on here is, believe it or not, on the front of this machine, there is indeed a FireWire option here. I have no idea if that's accessible or if it's usable, but this grate should come off, and I'll try to get it off, but for right now, ooh, I just zoomed in, my bad. But for right now, let's go ahead and try to get this thing to work. There we go. How does that look, huh? It's got to look magnificent from your end. I'll show you what it looks like from my end. How beautiful is that, huh? 3 optical drives, 3 DVD ROMs, all very high quality ROMs. These are very high quality ROMs, by the way. These are not cheap. So, our next step here is to do a little overclocking. Adjust these, fix up the optical drives, make sure they're connected. And we'll do the installing of the OS. This is going to be a long video. I'm surprised you guys have stick around for as long as you have. So I'm going to get everything hooked up here, and I'm going to pause the video and see what goes on next. Okay, so we're all in here. So got my handy cam. Let's get ready to roll, guys. We're all hooked up here, so go ahead and flip the power switch in the power supply. You'll see it better than me. There it is. All right, so here we go. We need to go in the BIOS and we need to overclock here. Okay, we're in the BIOS here, and we're gonna go through the BIOS system here. Let's do 145, let's see if that's good. Now, I gotta look for the install for this. So, hopefully if I can find the install, I'll try to make an install disk, and if I can, I'll be back. This is the next day. I'm wearing a different clothes outfit, and I'm not using my lav mic. I'm using the built-in shotgun mic on my main camera. But I just wanted to say this, okay? It took me 6 hours to find a usable ISO of Windows XP Media Center Edition, DVD ISO, I should put a mention. That is a very long time. I first started off just trying to look on some websites, see if maybe someone had it in Google Docs, and everything I found was pretty much unsafe. I didn't touch it, but I figured it was unsafe, so I agreed not to do it. But there was a lot of like sketchy stuff that I tried to stay away from. And then eventually, being that, now there are some torrent sites I could get this off of, but Kick-Ass Torrents, and I believe the Pirate Bay, I could be wrong about the Pirate Bay, but they have been seized by the US government. Obviously, yes, it is illegal to download those kind of operating systems, but being the fact that that operating system has been discontinued by Microsoft, it is no longer being supported. Well, I think XP Media Center Edition is kind of being supported, but very little. Like maybe a security update once in a while, as far as I know, but pretty much they stopped selling it. They stopped the activation servers. So in general aspects here, I think they wouldn't really care if someone went ahead and pretty much used that ISO. And I tried to see if it was bootable using a USB. If you've used any sort of Microsoft Windows XP Service Pack 2, which is what this operating system is, you might remember that you cannot, no matter what you do, you cannot install through a USB. It's just not supported. It'll say the file's corrupt. I usually do have spare DVDs and CDs laying around, but in this case, I do not. Which means I'm going to have to go out to Big Y, I'm going to have to drive down there, and they have some pretty good DVDs and CDs. I'll pick up some of those, put them in a safe spot so I have them when I need them, and I'll burn a Windows XP Media Center Edition DVD, and quite frankly, I might as well keep that DVD because it can come in very well good handy. So this machine's going to have to wait, but I'll go ahead and get the new disc, and we'll try it out. So, here I am, and I have to say a couple things. This took a lot longer than expected to get a bootable ISO and to get it installed on a DVD. Now, there's a couple of flaws I ran into. First off, Windows XP Media Center Edition is a very uncommon operating system. It's not easy to find on the World Wide Web, and it is, if you can find it, it's most likely corrupted or malware infested. This is not the case. I did find a version that actually worked. So, basically stating this, I finally got a copy, and then I had to run down to Big Y to get some DVDs, and they didn't have any DVDs, so I had to go to Staples and get DVDs, which they finally had DVDs. I came back home, and I tried a couple of burns. They didn't work, and I finally figured out a way to burn it, and that actually did work. I got a piece of tape up there, and I got the system to work. So, this has been a pain. I've spent literally 2 days dedicated to the system to try to get it to work. And let me say, it was not easy. I went through hell and back trying to get this thing to work. But I think it'll pay off. I've got the disc inserted in the CD drive right here, as you can see. It'll eject. It's in there. So, we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to boot off this. For those who have never seen what a boot off of XP looks like, it's not that difficult. It's pretty old school. It's very similar to Windows 98, 2000, and those operating systems along those lines. This will take a while, so I'm probably going to let the recording run through, but I'm probably going to edit some of this out. So you literally have no idea to see how happy I am that I found this. And this is going to take a while. Anyhow, it's loading all the files. Now, like I said, This version of XP was dedicated strictly to media such as audio and visual playback. So it's loading in extra drivers for video cards that may not be available on the original versions. Oh, now you come to me. Thank you. Too lazy to get up, I see. What else changes, huh? Oh, he's so fluffy. He's so fluffy. He's a good baby. Oh, my baby. Oh, you're so fluffy. You're so... Hi. I don't know if you can hear it, but she's purring right now. Actually, I think you might be covering my lav mic. You might hear her purr. You purring? You like this? Very lovey-dovey cat, really. Come on, go down. Go. Oh, of course. Here we go. Okay, we're here. Hey. So, move your tail, please. All right. So, right here, we've got a couple of options. Now, we need to format this. So, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and delete this partition. So, we're going to hit D. Continue. I'll delete. And that partition has been free. And now we need to delete this. And now we need to delete this partition. So, we're going to go delete. Enter. Or L. There we go. Now, we're going to format the system using NTFS. Now we're going to go ahead and format that. It's been a very long time since I've actually done a format using the Windows XP setup. Probably a good, I don't know, 5 to 7 years, somewhere in that range. I haven't done it in a long time. Hey. Look how black she is. You can barely see her. What the hell? Hey! Get out of here! Well, either it's booting or I'm just dumb. I want to see who this cat is. You. Okay. She's looking at me. She ain't going. Look at how focused she is on me. What the freak? And go run. Run away. I gotta mow the grass, don't I? And it would appear that the system is indeed booting, and it looks like I've got some interference there. I don't know if you can see it because this camera's not really the best definition out there. Windows, oh yeah. I think we gotta put the disk in the drive. Because I believe Windows XP, you can't just take the disk out once you've done the main setup. You need to go ahead and, yeah, see, that's what I thought. You need to go ahead and you leave the disk in the drive. This is going to restart a bunch of times. The system normally does do that. But it would appear that the install was successful. So I'm going to go ahead and get my Handycam all set up here. And we'll flip over to the Handycam. We'll improve the appearance and visual effects. Windows will automatically adjust your screen resolution. I could be wrong. That was so freaking laggy. Doesn't that bring back memories, guys? Now here's where the fun part's gonna be. We're gonna have to install all the drivers. And I'm pretty damn sure that the drivers available for this motherboard are going to be very hard to... Our first thing we got to do is we're going to get drivers for the video card. We're going to need drivers for the audio devices. We're going to need drivers for the onboard cards and stuff. Oh, look at that. Windows Media Center. It's probably going to run like crap if we try to open it because we've got a very bad driver situation going on here. Hardware. There she blows. Restart the system. I got the information I needed on the system, as you can see right here. That's the motherboard it uses. So let me back out of here. Well, not what I wanted to do. Come on. There we go. Okay. So got a thumb drive. Pop that in. Oh, look. The PCI input device went away. What was that anyhow? I don't know what that was. But it's gone now. All our drivers have been successfully installed. That took way longer than you'd think it would, but it was well worth it, that's for sure. Our system is fully running. Great, I should mention. Matter of fact, look at this Media Center application, though. This is pretty cool. Windows Media Center. This is the XP version, by the way. This is a good application. How nice is that, huh? Create CD, DVD, sync to device. You can play DVDs off this, I'm pretty damn sure. As far as I know, you can. It took a while, but you know what? We did it. It's been a crazy time building this machine. I cannot tell you enough. I spent about, I don't know, an hour and a half building the machine itself and turning it into a multimedia machine, hardware-wise. And then it took me about a good 7 hours just to find an operating system. And it took me 2 hours just to install it, as well as install all the drivers. So this has definitely been one of the longest builds I've done in a very long time. So there is no doubt that this has been really crazy and hectic. And thank you for watching this. You know, this is going to be a long episode, and I'm way over my head to edit this. But if you enjoyed the video, stay tuned. We got more episodes coming soon. Remember, these episodes will live starting as spring, as right now, as this is previewed. Obviously, this was recorded in summer, but I plan to have these released during spring. So it's the first day of spring. After that, it'll start regularly every week at Monday. It'll be released at Monday, I believe at, I don't know, just around Monday afternoon. So if you're willing to watch this, well, there you go. I think you guys might find this really interesting. So, thank you for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe. And if you have anything else to say, you know, just let me know in the comments. And give her some credit too. She was my helper. Yeah, you can go. I'm just gonna go back to her spot. She's so fluffy! Look how fluffy she is. She's so fluffy.